Exploring the unique communities and neighborhoods of San Diego, this is City Stories. City Stories is produced by the students of San Diego City College in cooperation with KSDS Jazz 88.3.
Welcome to City Stories. I'm David Pradel. Just a mile or two beneath North Park, where games, entertainment, and nightlife thrive, lies another neighborhood with the same last name, but with a different personality. In the midst of the sounds of furry four-legged friends barking and the flavorful smells of nearby restaurants frying up their kitchens, is the neighborhood that was born on ambition more than 100 years ago. As the Southern California breeze teases the leaves that drop overhead, there are people there today with the same passion. And as I found out, they are unknowingly continuing the story of this forgotten gem in the city of San Diego. Passing by through the tree-lined neighborhood of South Park, it's hard not to notice the prominent street signs of 30th and Fern. On this corner, there are three buildings that capture the eyes and stand out amongst the rest. There's one building with a rich and beautiful craftsman-style architecture where today, people step inside to pump iron and feel the reward of staying fit. Right next door, there's two buildings that showcase early adobe mud brick construction where people are dining with glasses of wine in their hands. And then there are people walking through a building where they now become customers in a little neighborhood of small businesses. But over 100 years ago, life was a lot different.
This building was actually a grocery store, and it was called the Rose Grocery. And so people were, buying their food before going home, coming back from work, from downtown for the most part.
Laurent Hammond is the current landlord of the three historical buildings.
People were bringing their car, having it repaired or serviced, take their trolley, and go to work, come back, buy their food, and that was the life in the neighborhood.
The Burlingame Garage and the Rose Grocery Store were the cornerstone for the community in the early 1900s. And the third historical building also served an essential role in South Park at the turn of the century. South Park fitness gym owner Rob Pulio.
There was a lot of money put into building a fire station here so that they could build a neighborhood around that. Apparently you have to have a fire station before you can put in the houses.
After years of serving the community, the sunny days came to an end decades later. The red fire trucks no longer rang their fire bells as a new facility was built nearby. And as the grocery store and garage closed up shop, 30th and Fern ran into some hard and mysterious times. Sam Chalmers owns the Whistle Stop Bar right next door to the garage.
Everyone that's ever been in South Park or Golden Hills known about the warehouse buildings. Like, oh, those are the old, the warehouse buildings, and there's some guy that lives in there, and he doesn't talk to anybody. And it was just this weird little Bermuda Triangle of urban tales and stuff. And these got 20 deluxe antique cars and bars of gold, and you didn't know what to believe.
The three buildings that once contained the earliest memories of South Park disappeared for a couple of decades and became so run down they were nearly condemned. Laurent Hammond.
There's a void. I saw pictures of the buildings prior being remodeled. Basically, it was totally abandoned. There was no tenant. A person owned it for a couple of generations, never did anything with it, and the previous owner bought the building, put it back into a really good shape.
After the renovations, the buildings were given a second chance to serve the community and once again thrive off the ambition of a new generation of entrepreneurs. Sonia Kemp owns the Gold Leaf, a home goods store located in the garage.
I love this idea of these entrepreneurs starting, their livelihoods and their lives in this same building. And it's cool to be part of something it's been around doing that for other people for so long.
The colorful past of the three buildings is still very present on the walls and has inspired the design for the small businesses that get to call 30th and Fern their home. Melanie Michaud is the owner of Graffiti Beach, a boutique shop right behind the Rose Wine Bar.
I loved how they renovated and kept all the character that's within it, but then stayed really true to a lot of the pieces. For example, when I came in here, they still had the original garage door. And so we kept a lot of those pieces, and we still have them on some of our displays and integrated it into our concept. So yeah, it adds a lot of personality and something to talk about and explain to customers.
After celebrating 8 years at the gym, Rob Pulio is all smiles.
Having the gym as an old fire station is about as unique as you can get. I started with a vision, and I remember sitting on the floor inside this gym when it was just a mere shell. You know, I always wanted a gym that had the big double doors that open up in the front, and that's where all the fire engines used to come through. I always wanted a backyard, especially here in San Diego. So for me, it's a dream come true.
The reemergence and success of 30th and Fern has outshined the history on the walls, but for the neighborhood of South Park, it was and is the home for independent business owners looking to serve the community. South Park resident Scott McGee.
I think it's easily taken for granted. It's easy to see it as it is now instead of as it has been.
At 30th and Fern, visitors become friendly neighbors, adding to the history where it all began for South Park. For City Stories, I'm David Pradel. For more information on the businesses at the historical 30th and Fern, visit 30thandfern.com.